Alright, so while we're taking a look at Dark Castle films, I did 13 Ghosts in the last Tubi horror weekend, which is what this still is, by the way. We just did Ghost Ship. How about the first Dark Castle film? Because originally these were intended to be, Dark Castle films were intended to be remakes of William Castle films back in the 1950s, which is why the first two were House on Haunted Hill, which I'm reviewing now, and 13 Ghosts, both William Castle films back in the 50s. But this one is the House on Haunted Hill. It's a remake. You have a big cast of well-known names from the time. We have Jeffrey Rush playing the character of Price, which is an homage to Vincent Price. Not just the character's last name, but the appearance as well. We have Taye Diggs, Famke Janssen, Ali Larter, Bridget Wilson, Chris Kattan, the guy from the OC. I don't know his name. Peter something. There's cameos from Lisa Loeb and James Marsters. Yeah. And it's about this house, which used to be a mental facility back in the 1930s, but all the patients went nuts and attacked and killed all the staff except for 5. Comes back later, trust me. And then, now, all these years later, Famke Janssen's character wants to have her birthday party in this mansion. And when the people show up, they were on a guest list. It turns out they're not the people that Price invited. So, yeah, there's something in there. And then weird things begin to happen. And one thing I gotta criticize, and I know this film technically did it first, it's that Chris Kattan's character seems eerily similar, at least to me, to the character of Dennis from 13 Ghosts. He's there, he has some kind of history with the house, he knows there's something going on, he keeps warning the people that it's haunted, that they're all gonna die, he's very annoying, more annoying than Dennis, and he just sort of, is there, and in the end, he comes back as a ghost to help out, although Dennis just stands there and says you can do it, but I don't know. It seems very similar. It's like they say, hey, I worked in this one, why not have it? And then next one, because that was an original thing. Well, I don't think it was from the original 13 Ghosts. So, yeah. And so, one thing, I was excited about this cast, and Bridget Wilson was one that got me going, oh, Veronica Vaughn, so hot, want to touch the hiney. Oh, she's not in there this long. She gets there, she starts going around this camera, she encounters ghosts, and she's dead. She's gone. You got Price, who is Jeffrey Rush's character, and his wife, played by Famke Janssen. They're at each other's throats because there's no, they don't want a divorce, but they're not, a happy couple. And she keeps blaming him for it, saying, stuff, whatever's happening, it's his fault, and, there's actual bullets in the guns. They were supposed to be blanks, even though, I think I mentioned this, in my Child's Play 3 review, you cannot put real live rounds in a gun designed to fire blanks. They're different. It doesn't work. But, movie logic. This is 9 years after Child's Play 3, so they didn't learn their lesson. So, more than 9 years, I guess. But, I'm out of Asian tea. One moment. I'll get you in it. I need to drink. Onto my throat. My throat gets dry otherwise. No. So, start to explore this house. And let me talk about Chris Kattan for a minute. He's possibly the worst thing in this film. like I said, he's much like he's like the dentist character from 13 Ghosts, but he's worse. The first scene that he's in, he goes off on Price, wanting his paycheck. But from this scene, I can tell that Chris Kattan isn't playing this straight. He's not taking it serious. He goes, all I want is my fucking check. That's what I want. Give it to me. Oh my goddamn check. Just how he's acting. This is like, too much. Dial it down. You know, Will Ferrell always went too much, and that's what I don't like about him, is he goes above and beyond to deliver a joke that wasn't funny to begin with. And I was like Chris Kattan because while he can be weird, he never did that. Here, he's kind of is. And I know he's the comedy guy in this film, as was Matthew Lillard in 13 Ghosts. But it doesn't work. He's not funny, and he just comes off as annoying. And so, eventually wandering around. So eventually, Famke Janssen's character gets killed. She gets electrocuted in electroshock therapy, and she's dead. Which, Jeffrey Rush, after this, you can tell that Price really did still love his wife. Price runs off on his own, and the other ones are left to look around, where they find this picture with all the staff. And it turns out that the staff are all relatives of the people invited, except for one, because Ali Larter's character is pretending to be Jennifer. Her name is actually Sarah, and she lied. She took her boss's, she's Jennifer's assistant. She took her boss's invitation because her boss fired her, so she took it and said, hey, I'm going to win your money, and I'm going to win her money, and I'll get her money, and she'll get nothing. Okay. But she's not related to these people, so she should be let go. But she isn't. And then it also comes to another problem later. So, but then they realize that Mr. O.C., he's not related to any of these people either. And then we get the twist. He comes in, Famke Janssen's dead body's laying on a slab. He comes in, he fills her up, and she's dead, so it doesn't matter. But he brings her back to life by injecting something in her leg. What you gotta do it to the neck, buddy, or the heart to inject adrenaline to bring her back? I don't know. But brings her back to life, and she kills him because they're trying to get these people to kill her husband so she doesn't have to divorce him. I know a divorce costs money, but come on. Come on. So she kills him because they need another body so they can entice the people. So she kills him, and then she gets killed by the Darkness, which is this horrible CGI mess of a thing that somehow Chris Kattan knows all about. He dies, and then we have our last two, which is Taye Diggs and Ali Larter, and then of course Price, Jeffrey Rush, is still there, and there's got to be a way out. He goes, the attic, and so the exit is in the attic. And I feel like this is a callback to the beginning of the film where he's at his music park, and they go, what's so special about your roller coaster? And he goes, what roller coaster do you know that starts at the top? So I figured it's kind of a nod to that, maybe? I don't know. But they get up there, Price dies in the worst CGI death you ever seen, where it just engulfs him and then turns him into this dust thing? I don't know. And then they try to escape, but ghosts somehow can move things. I never got that. People criticize how ghosts can touch things, but ghosts can go through walls and through people, but you can pull things. Or you can stand on the floor. I'm going to defend that because ghosts float. They don't stand directly on the floor. They can go through the floor whenever they want, but they're not standing on the floor to begin with. They're just hovering just inches above the floor. They're not actually standing on the floor. So, well, the floor because they're not standing directly on the floor or hovering just above it to give the appearance of walking. But they pull this thing, and the ladder gets out, the thing pulls down, and then we get the reveal that Taye Diggs shouldn't even be involved in this because he's adopted. And then the ghost of Chris Kattan shows up, pulls the thing back up, and he's able to get out, and there it is. And you know what? I think I figured it out. Jason, I know you don't watch this. Sinister Cinema. His review, they said that people were complaining about a non-ending. And I think what they mean is there's no real conclusion. If you get what I mean. I can comment on his video, but I watched his video after I watched this. And after I thought about it, it's not as it's a non-ending. There's no really real conclusion. There's no defeating the spirits like in 13 Ghosts or letting them go free. It's just they escape. But how do they get down? There are thousands of stories up. They have money because they found an envelope with $5 million in it. So they got money. However, I feel like that's not going to work. Both of the prices are now dead, and they have checks for $5 million made out to cash with their names on it. With the price's name on it. A little sketchy. I know they made a sequel to this. I can't find it anywhere, but no, maybe I'll get a DVD or something. I don't know. But yeah. But yeah, I think that's what people mean about a non-ending, is that there's no conclusion to the ghosts. The ghosts win in the end, basically, with the other two. They're not technically related to the people, not by blood. So I don't know. It's a weird ending, to be sure, but I don't know. Yeah, it was fine. Nothing spectacular. I'd still put Ghost Ship of 13 Ghosts above it, but it's not bad. Interesting little story here is that back in 2000, I went down to Missouri to see my cousin. And while we were there, my mom went down to the basement to watch horror movies with her cousin. And the movies they watched were The Haunting and the House on Haunted Hill. And we sat upstairs to watch something that wasn't scary. The Sixth Sense. Because we thought that wouldn't be scary. So there's a familial connection with this movie. But it was fun. It was fine. Nothing spectacular, like I said. I'll give it a 6. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It's decent. So there you go for review number 2 in horror Tubi Horror Weekend. Okay? So what are your thoughts on The House on Haunted Hill? Let me know in the comments below. Share, like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.